Well, reefers, it's time for a tank update. Welcome back for another reefing video. We're going to do an update on the 180 gallon. The tank has been up and running for roughly 3 months now, maybe a little bit closer to 4. And we think it's just time for the first update. But first, we would like to say thank you to all of the current subscribers that we have. And if you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. So what's new in the system? First off, we have some additional lighting. We installed the Aquatic Life T-5 Hybrid fixture, the 61-inch, and currently only one side is running on it. We have had issues with possibly the bulbs. We ordered the original 4, but it seems like only 2 of those bulbs were working. Now we took the 2 bulbs that were working, we stuck them in the other side, and they work fine in the other side. So that rules out the fixture being bad. Now we just gotta narrow it down to the actual light bulbs themselves. We have an additional 3 bulbs being sent to us that should be here next week. We have to give those a try and see what's going on, because 2 out of original 5 bulbs now, that's not a good ratio to not work. But once these additional 3 come, I'm hoping that at least 2 of these 3 work, so we can get the other side of the T5 lit up. The bulbs that we're using are the ATI Blue Plus, and I've just recently have heard that some people are having issues with their ATI Blue Plus bulbs firing inside of this fixture. I'm hoping that's not the case, but if you have heard anything or have experienced this, comment below, because I am really curious to find out, you know, what is going on, or what did you do to fix this? Am I gonna have to get like a single actinic bulb or something else? I don't know, but I really want to get this figured out. We will be doing a review on the Aquatic Life T5, but it's looking like it probably won't be for another month or 2. We want to give the corals that we have some time to acclimate to it once it's up and running fully, and then after that we can give an honest opinion on what we think as far as the fixture. Next up for the tank, we ordered those 25 Margarita Snails from Worldwide Corals. They have done an incredible job in this tank behind me. I should have taken some footage of the algae that was in here. It was just crazy how much we had, but these guys, they went to town on eating all this algae and cleaning it up. As you can see in the footage, it's amazing how much cleaner this tank looks just from adding these snails. Now we still have some rocks on the left and right side of the aquarium that are still covered in algae, but I'm thinking within the next few days, maybe a week tops, that should be gone too. And I'm hoping that the 25 isn't too much. I know they say you should have like 1 snail per gallon ratio, but there's just no way I'm going to put 180 snails into this aquarium. A, they're going to starve with the quickness, and then B, it's just so crazy, 180 snails. I'd have more snails than I have fish or coral. We also added a couple new fish. The first fish that I'm going to talk about is the 6 Line Rass. He is constantly roaming his tank. He is picking at the rocks and in and out of holes. He's really comfortable, back and forth. Now, I just saw recently somewhere on like a Facebook group or something that somebody said that their sixth line is being real aggressive to their other fish. Now, and all the time that I've been doing saltwater aquariums and or reef keeping, I have yet to see a sixth line give me any issues as far as, you know, aggression towards my other fish. But hey, what do I know? I mean, it could be that my tank is a 180 gallon. Who knows the size of the aquarium that this person has their sixth line in? It could be a nano for all we know, and it could be just aggressive because it doesn't have that much space. There's plenty of reasons, but he's doing fine in mine, so I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy him, and I'm just going to hope that he stays healthy and grows in my system. The next fish we have, and I hope I say this right, is the Ombun Damsel. I have never seen this damsel before, and it could quite possibly be because I don't necessarily think about them that much, shall I say. There's plenty of fish on my wish list that the damsels don't even cross my mind. Like I would love to have a gem tang, purple tang. In time, it'll come. But this damsel, my daughter picked this up, and it's a really nice looking fish. That's all I got to say. It has a really nice pink and yellow tone to it, and it's vibrant. Has this black spot near the end of its tail, which I assume in the wild is probably, you know, a false eye, you know, for a predatory fish. But it's a really nice looking fish. He's in and out of the rocks. He's darting back and forth. He's real comfortable. Also, he's not even aggressive towards any of the other fish, and the other fish don't even pay him any mind, which the first day, the tangs, they pretty much, you know, chased him here and there, and same with the wrasse. They chased that sixth line back and forth, but they're inside and out of all the crevices inside these rocks that it didn't even affect them, and that only went on for about a day. They have left them alone since. So let's talk about the corals. All of the corals that we currently have are doing great. A few kind of, well, I wouldn't even say a few. I would say probably maybe two have lost their color a little bit. Not bleaching. They're not bleaching by any means. Thank goodness. I mean, I'll take a little bit of highlighted colors, you know, going brown before white any day. But I would have to associate that with A, lack of par, B, they're coming from somebody else's system, and they definitely have to acclimate to mine. And a lot of these corals that I do have, I have received from Brandon Barber, and his par is up through the roof. He's running like 600 par at the top, maybe even more. But you know, and we're coming down to like maybe 200 par in mine with the 3 Kessels I'm running. So, you know, once again, with the Aquatic Life T5s, I should bring our par level back up. At least I got to get up at, you know, 350 range. I'd like to at the top, if not a little bit higher. And then we should start to see those corals color back up. I haven't added any new corals, any new pieces, just because when I was reefing a couple years ago before my tank crashed, which is another video that's going to be coming up here in the next week or two, I was hoarding coral. You know, every chance I had, I would frag it. It'd be on a plug, and you know, I had 4 Deep Blue 60 frag tanks. They were just full of frags, and I just did not want to get rid of them. I don't know, you know, people would want to buy something, and you know, I had a hard time parting with it all. But this time around, I want to get back just having it be a hobby. And I don't want to accumulate all of them frags. The frag tanks that I have, that's a complete different story, which will be involved in a week or two. But the frag tanks that I do have over there, I just want to use those as one frag tank as a backup system. You know, cut a frag of what I have just in case, God forbid, this system crashes. You know, I still have the other one running. But the next piece I think that I really want to get is probably the Jason Fox Fox Flame or the Jason Fox Tropicana and Acropora. I've been looking at those a lot, and I'm really becoming a pretty big fan of the Acropora. And Acropora, shall I say, not Acropora. I like all Acropora. But the Acropora, I'm really starting to like those a lot. So let's talk about my parameters around my tank right now. These are working for me. They may not work for everybody. As we know, no two systems are the same. So let's start off with the KH and or alkalinity. I'm currently running mine between 8.6 and 8.7. Every couple of days, it'll fluctuate that 0.1 of a DKH, and that's pretty much just because I'm trying to still dial in that calcium reactor, which is, it's almost there. You know, it's not quite there. You know, I'd like to get it to be just sit on that number and not move. I'm thinking it's going to take just a little bit more time, and then everything should be good. My calcium, that's running between 410, 420 ppm. That's swinging right along with the alkalinity itself, you know, because it's both are the same as far as, you know, dosing with a calcium reactor. Now, my magnesium, that is somewhere over 1,500 parts per million, because I'm using my Red Sea test kit, but it maxes out at 1,500 ppm. And I was using Instant Ocean Reef crystals, and their magnesium is really high. So I switched recently to Fritz, and still trying to bring that magnesium down. I like to get between, you know, like 1350 if possible. But like anything, I want to do that slow too. Don't want to shock anything or, you know, make anybody upset in that tank. So we will see how long that takes. My nitrates, they're sitting at 10 ppm right now. I personally like to keep them between 5 and 10 parts per million. Everything seems to be happy there. I know you can run it up. I mean, there's tanks running out there 20, 30, 40 parts per million nitrates. But, you know, I want to look at it as, I'm not keeping coral, I'm not keeping fish. I am 100% maintaining what you see behind me. I'm maintaining water. I want to make sure that, you know, I keep that mindset. You know, I'm not keeping anything but water. The better my water, everything else should fall into place 100%. You know, if the water's good, the corals are good, the fish are good. Now that brings us to phosphates. According to my HANA checker, I have 0 phosphates. And I know that is the biggest, fattest lie looking at that HANA checker, because clearly I had an algae problem. Now, I was dosing phosphates just because that fleece roller that I have is just pulling everything out of the water. I mean, any kind of food or detritus. So nothing is being left behind, and my nutrients, as far as that's concerned, is so low that, you know, I started dosing. Could I have dosed too much? You know, plus the pellets that I'm feeding the fish, I'm sure that caused the phosphates to go up. And of course the algae is just consuming it. So when it's time to test, I'm reading 0 because, well, it's, you know, there's none in there because the algae is taking it. Last but not least, my salinity, that is running at 1.026 I don't deviate from that at all. That stays consistent. You know, my ATO, make sure that, you know, the water stays filled up. I definitely don't want my salinity swinging. So there is a first update. I would like to do one every couple weeks or so. I may just tend to, if I do something different, add a new fish or something changes in the system, then I will do the update. I really don't want to, if everything's going great, I don't want to have to make a video on the same stuff. I mean, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. And so if you're doing anything different than what I'm doing, you know, feel free in the comments, you know, let me know. You know, it's something I could learn. It's a learning process. So, you know, it just helps everybody out. You know, even anybody else that are watching the videos, they read those comments. You know, if you're doing something completely different, you know, that's going to help myself. That's going to help anybody else out. So feel free, 100%, man. Type in those comments. If you have had any issues with the Aquatic Life T5 and the Blue Plus bulbs, or anything of that sort, also put that in the comments, because, you know, I'm really looking for a solution to get this working. Now, like I said, hopefully, you know, come this week when those bulbs arrive, 2 are working, I throw them in, and it fires up. I'll let you guys know on the next update what the outcome of that was. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen any of my other videos, just click right here. It'll take you to another one of my videos. You may want to check out that new DIY mesh screen that I just put up on Saturday, and might give yourself a little project to do. So until then, see you on the next one.